Bum 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 ba bum bum. Dun 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 dun. How is it going, everyone? I am glad to be here today. Oh, how's it going, Trixpus Life? We're gonna have a little bit of a short Q&A today. I got my kids coming off the bus in about an hour, so I'll have to go be a parent. My fiance's off at work, so we got started a little later than I planned today, but that's life. I obviously got that video out about the Nintendo Direct. I had to do some new lighting and some new setup for the area of the studio I used for that. So that being said, I am here to answer any and all questions you guys have, whether it's personal, whether it's about Nintendo or video games or whatever. Obviously, if it's a question I feel is inappropriate, it is one I will not respond to. We don't allow questions about politics and religion and that kind of stuff on this channel. We are here to talk about video games or whatever I'm willing to reveal about myself if people want to ask anything personal. So, that being said, let's get those questions rolling in, huh? We are live on Twitch and YouTube right now. Blaze Miner has our first question, and he says, "What do you think about a Skyward Sword remake?" I really love Skyward Sword, and I think Switch is the perfect platform to remake Skyward Sword for because it has motion controls. I know a lot of people want to see Skyward Sword adapted to traditional controls. I'm not one of those people. I'm actually sad that Skyward Sword's motion controls weren't expanded upon and made even better in Breath of the Wild. But I can't change that. I can't change that it appears Skyward Sword's controls never were going to reach perfection in Zelda because it just wasn't popular. So I would like to see an HD remaster. They probably would, adapt it to standard controls and give standard controls as an option for people who want to play portably. But yeah, I'm all for Skyward Sword, HD remastered, whatever. Bring it on. It is the only, currently the only mainline console Zelda title in the 3D space, so since Ocarina of Time and up, that has not been re-released and remastered at all. We had Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask got remastered on 3DS. I would like to see those get HD someday as well. Obviously, Twilight Princess and The Wind Waker on Wii U. I'd like to see those brought over to Switch. But Skyward Sword HD to me makes a lot of sense, both from a motion control perspective and just in general. I think that game's due for a nice second life. I don't think people are going to like it as much, or like it even less so coming off of Breath of the Wild. But I think it's an interesting part of Nintendo's history, and I really hope they bring it back. Let's see here. Next question we have. Rayman Legends says, who... Oh, by the way, Skyward Sword's in my top 5 Zelda games of all time. So, I really, really, really like Zelda. Not just Zelda, but I really, really like Skyward Sword. Rayman Legend says, Q&A, who's your top 5 video game publishers? Yours is Nintendo, Square Enix, Ubisoft, Bethesda, and Capcom. When we talk about publishers, Nintendo's number one for me. I mean, obviously, I'm biased. We're called Nintendo Prime, but Nintendo, just the wide breadth of games they publish and create themselves over the years is just something I'm more excited for than I think any other game publisher out there. Sony's kind of creeping up there a little bit, just from a publishing perspective. Like the Spider-Man game that came out, Sony published that. It was made by Insomniac, but Sony basically paid for the game to be made and published it. So there's a lot of interesting things happening with Sony. I'm not going to put it in my top 5 right now just because I don't currently own a PlayStation 4, so I am not really fully up to date on how good Sony's exclusives have been that they have published this generation. So I just wanted to note I'm not ignoring Sony. It's just that I don't have the hands-on experience this generation to continue to keep Sony in my top 5. They were definitely top 5 PlayStation 3 era and below. So I got Nintendo at the top. Next up is probably, don't kill me for this, Ubisoft. I really, really love what Ubisoft's doing, both from a developer and publisher stance. I have to say that because Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, well, actually, no, that was published by Ubisoft. I take that back. Ubisoft did actually publish that game. I know that because I can actually put footage of that game up, and now I can put trailers of that game on my channel and not worry about copyright claims because Nintendo is not a publisher on that game. So, yeah, I really love what Ubisoft's got going on. Not just from like the Assassin's Creeds and what they're doing with that, or Trials Rising. I really while some people were disappointed with Watch Dogs not living up to the hype they kind of created. Watch Dogs 2 was very, very good. God, I'm forgetting. I always forget that game about the first person style fighting. Jeez, whatever that game is called. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of it. And they're just coming out with new IPs all the time. Starlink Battle for Atlas is my most anticipated game this year. And it's got nothing to really do with the Fox McCloud and crew inclusion in there. Just Starlink Battle for Atlas. I went hands-on with that at E3, and I walked away as impressed with that demo as I did when I played the demo of Breath of the Wild in 2016. And Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. So I am massively looking forward to Starlink Battle for Atlas. And just in general, I really like what Ubisoft does. I mean, I even like the Just Dance games. I love what Ubisoft has been becoming over the past, 8 or so years. Obviously, there was a period of time where it felt like they were slowly becoming EA, and now they kind of step back, it feels like, and they're getting back in the groove. So I'd probably put Ubisoft in my top 5. Let's see. We're talking about game publishers. They don't have to make the games. Then probably Bethesda's in there. They publish and make a lot of really great games. So I'd probably include them in my top 5. I have yet to play a Bethesda published game I don't enjoy, but I haven't played all of them. After that, it gets a little muddy because those are kind of like my big 3, and then I just enjoy like little bits and pieces from everyone else. As an example, CD Projekt Red has yet to put out a game I don't like, but they haven't put out that many games in terms of published games. So it's like, does that make my top 5 just because I love the games they've put out? Or does it not make my top 5 because they haven't put out a lot of games? I mean, where do you sit on that? 2K. 2K is often up there for me. I know a lot of people are kind of reaming on 2K right now because, again, NBA 2K19, especially in the My Career mode, is riddled with microtransactions and blah, 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 and I get it. But outside of that, the rest of NBA 2K19 appears to be fantastic. And what we have to remember is that 2K owns Rockstar. So Red Dead Redemption 2, 2K is publishing that game. So yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5, 2K published that game, and they own Rockstar. So you got to remember that all falls under the umbrella as well. So I'd probably have 2K up there. That's 4, and then for 5, the 5th one, I mean maybe Square Enix. I'm a little biased to Square Enix right now because of Octopath Traveler. And they used to publish things like the Tomb Raider games. I know that they sold that off, and now it's not them anymore doing that. But I just like what Square Enix does in general. So I think I'll keep it up there. And there's a lot of smaller publishers as well that aren't like these big boys at the top that I really enjoy. But obviously the big boys at the top are the ones that stick out the most when you're talking about publishers because they publish the most games. So that's probably my top 5. Let's see here. And make sure if you have a question for me that you ping me in the chat. I will try to get to your questions even if you don't put an @Nintendo Prime in the chat. But if the chat ever gets really, really buzzing, it's hard for me to keep up at times with questions that don't have me highlighted. Raiko-chan says, how excited are you for Fire Emblem 3 Houses? I mean, I'm excited for a new Fire Emblem game. We know very little about this Fire Emblem game. We know the name, and that's pretty much all I really know about it. I've rewatched the reveal trailer. There really isn't a lot in there. to dissect. For me personally, I know someone who's like a very hardcore Fire Emblem fan will pour through that footage and find like 10 trillion things, just like I do with Zelda trailers. But I'm not like that super hardcore Fire Emblem fan. I just really like Fire Emblem. So I'm excited for it because I've been wanting a console level Fire Emblem game really since like what, the GameCube or the Wii? I remember playing. I don't think I played one on the Wii. There might have been one on the Wii, but I didn't play it. There was one on the GameCube. I remember I sunk like 152. I couldn't even believe it. I beat the story and I'm like, huh, well that was a fun 20 hours. Look at my playtime. Oh, that was a fun 280 hours. Like, I had no idea that I was just so enthralled in the game. And, you know, when you're having that much fun, you don't even realize how much time you've spent playing it. So, yeah, and that was back, you know, when I was in high school and stuff like that. So, and I was, you know, a four-sport athlete, and I was in 2 different choirs and 2 different bands. You know, and I also did, like, state competitions for choir and band and stuff. So like I was a very busy kid, and I had a girlfriend all through high school, and I somehow found, I don't know, was I better at time management in high school? Is that even, I guess you know, you don't have responsibilities per se. Your parents taking care of bills. I had a job too. Man, it feels like as an adult at age 32 here that I'm worse at time management than I was when I was a teenager. I just felt like I had time for everything back then. And I was really busy all the time, 7 days a week. Huh. Maybe I just had more energy. That was probably it. More energy, so it felt like I had more time. Let me see here. Reggie Hello Official says, what are you hoping to see tomorrow? I mean, I made a video last week, so you guys can go back and watch that if you want, about my expectations for this Direct. It hasn't really changed. There's no reason for it to change just because it's a week later. I mean, I don't think they're going to hype up the Mega Man 11 demo drop like they would have originally, and I think they probably recut some things. But for the most part, it's still 35 minutes, so it's probably going to be mostly what we were going to get last week, just with maybe a few things reworded. I thought maybe more stuff, you know, like maybe Civilization 6 wasn't in the Direct. That was just an aside. That was supposed to be a follow-up announcement to the Direct or something like that, right? So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I definitely expect to see Smash Bros. And Mario Party and Pokemon Let's Go and Fire Emblem Three Houses and Yoshi's Crafted World. Since the title came out, clearly that was going to be in the Direct. They were going to show a new trailer for that. Beyond that, from Nintendo themselves, I don't know what to expect. Third parties, I'm not expecting a whole lot. I think we are going to see a look at Mario. Well, we're going to see a look at Luigi's Mansion for sure for 3DS. And then we'll probably see a look at that Mario plus Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story, plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey, or whatever it is. We're going to see that, I'm sure. Again, it's been a little bit since we've seen that, and that's coming out next year for 3DS. But those are kind of like the safe bets. That's what we know. I don't really know what to expect outside of the safe stuff, and that's kind of what I went over in my predictions. Is here's all the games we know about already. Like that's a lot of games that they could talk about. I don't know how much new stuff we're gonna see, but they didn't say that it's just 2018. They did say coming soon, but they didn't say 2018. It means we could see more games to that first half of 2019 as well. So there's a lot of reason to be excited and hyped if you want to be excited and hyped. But I always, as I try to tell people, don't think we're going to get every game under the sun. You start thinking we're going to see a new Zelda. We're going to see, like there's a rumor out there about a Lego Zelda game or something. That we're going to see a new Mario game. That we're going to see Animal Crossing and Pikmin 4. And like, don't hype yourself up to this point where you're expecting Nintendo to give you like a dozen plus new games and they really only show 1 or 2. Because that's what they usually do at Nintendo Directs. You get what's already been announced, more hype, new information, and then a couple big announcements. That's usually it. That's what you should be expecting. You can get hyped over what those big announcements are. Maybe we finally see Metroid Prime 4. I don't know. But I'm not expecting it. So keep your expectations in check a little bit. Just a little bit. It's okay to be hyped. But again, look at the history of Nintendo Directs. Remember that the Direct that has literally everything in it has never happened. So, let me see here. What about an HD remaster for the 2 Galaxy games? Sure. I'm all for HD remasters of all GameCube and Wii games. I mean, I don't know that people are really wanting more ports and remasters right now. I think they want more new games, but I'm all for ports and remasters. Bring them on. HD Zelda CDI, please. Yes. Let's go bomb some dongos. Let me see. Today's your birthday, Melee Man 14. Happy birthday. Would I like Fallout on Switch? Bring it on. Whether it's New Vegas, Fallout 3, maybe we're talking about Fallout 76 for some reason. Why not? I have not played much of the Fallout series, so it would be very interesting. I mean, I probably played more of Fallout Shelter between my phone and my Switch than I've ever played of an actual Fallout game. So I would love to have a Fallout on Switch. It might make me give the Fallout series a chance. I don't really know why I haven't tried the Fallout series very much. I've played a little bit of New Vegas, but I don't know why I haven't really tried to dive deep into it. I don't really have a good excuse. I mean, then again, I haven't played any of the PlayStation 4 exclusives this generation, so it's kind of like, I mean, the excuse there is I just don't have a PlayStation 4. I can't afford to support 2 platforms right now. Deception John says, L.A. Noire did well, and Rockstar decides to continue to support the Switch. What game should they release? I personally would love Max Payne Collection. I mean, the only game that they should even be talking about right now is Grand Theft Auto 5. It was literally on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 originally. There's no reason that can't be on Switch. At least at Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 quality. No excuse. If L.A. Noire did well enough for them, Grand Theft Auto 5, which continues to be a top 5 seller every single month, even now, this many years out, lets you know how relevant it is. Now imagine that you have the full version of Grand Theft Auto 5 portably on a Nintendo Switch. It's going to get an even second wind of life, and it's going to blow up on Switch. It's going to be the next Fortnite on Switch and move in 2 million copies in that first month, because that's how much people would love to have a portable version of Grand Theft Auto 5. So I don't think we should talk about anything else coming from Rockstar to Switch but GTA 5 at this point. I mean, you could speculate on Red Dead Redemption if you really want, but I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is what we should be looking forward to and hopefully demanding of them at this point. I mean, maybe, you know, it feels like we're waiting for an announcement of Grand Theft Auto 5 every week, but it just makes so much sense to put it on Switch. Let me see here. Atlas, that's a good publisher too. Left grandchildren at Applebee's. Have you seen? I don't know who your grandchildren are. I'm pretty sure it's a joke, but Duo says nice new studio. Old School Gamer 4545 says, do you think they will put out a Smash demo? I've never played it before, and you want to try it out? I don't think so. They usually don't do Smash demo. In fact, I don't know if they've ever done a Smash demo. I don't ever remember seeing a Smash demo. So I could be wrong on that. I have played Smash demos before. I just played one this year at E3. But I actually don't remember being able to download and play one on the system. So they could do a Smash demo. That would be a surprise to me. But I don't think they're going to. And I don't think they need to. Then again, I don't think they need to do Pokemon demos either. And they keep releasing those. So. Yeah, Ubisoft made a big comeback. Yeah, I think they did anyways. It doesn't mean you have to like their stuff. Or like the company. New Prince of Persia game. That would be sick. Brendan Renshaw says, hey, Nate, IGN on the Nintendo voice chat came out and said Starlink is geared towards kids. What are your thoughts on this? I don't know why they said that, as I haven't heard that anywhere else. I think it's the dialogue. If you watch like the 20, 30 plus minutes of stuff out there, you'll see that the dialogue itself isn't like a super in-depth novel-style dialogue. Like it's very, it tells a decent story, but it's kind of simplistic in how it tells it. And that's where, to me, when I played at E3, you could feel that, like, okay, they're trying to make sure everybody can get this game and understand it. Now, it being targeted specifically for children, I don't think that's the case. The game deals with death. The game deals with space exploration and pew-pew lasers and some pretty interesting elements to it that I'm not going to go into for spoiler reasons. I don't think there is any reason to really say it's geared towards kids specifically. Maybe it's just one person on. I didn't listen to the recent Nintendo voice chat yet, So maybe it just happened to be one person on that panel was like, hey, I played it, and it's not The Last of Us 2, so it's for kids. I mean, I don't know the background of the person who played it. But literally no one else that I know that has gone hands-on thinks the game's for kids, including myself. So, and it being for, like, I'm okay if my kids play the game. Like, I think it's definitely a game that's more for everybody than, say, Last of Us 2. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's meant for kids. It just meant it can be enjoyed by everyone. Just like a good Star Fox game. Like, is a Star Fox game intended for kids? Not really. But kids can play it. Like, there's nothing wrong with a kid playing it, and that's the way I feel about Starlink. It's just it's a very good game. Very good game. And I hope they weren't using, like, it's for kids connotation as an insult for the game as well. Like, I hate when that happens, because, like, just because something might be meant for a younger audience doesn't mean it's, like, any less of a game. And we should know that as Nintendo fans. Super Mario Odyssey, made for kids. Really? Did you play it? Let me tell you, adults can get plenty of joy out of that game. And my kids love Mario Odyssey too. Again, an everybody game. Starlink Battle for Atlas to me feels like more of a Nintendo game than anything I've played from any other company before. I'll say that. Let's see here. Fallout 4 on Switch? Why the heck not? Do I want Tails in Smash Ultimate? Are we talking about Tails like the Sonic sidekick Tails? Sure. I don't think they're going to do it, but sure. I'm assuming you meant that since your username is Tails the Fox. Andrew says, any bold predictions or bets for the Direct? I don't really have anything bold. Not this time. I've done the bold prediction thing in the past, and I've been wrong so many times that it's just not fun anymore. Why overhype myself? Why be like, we will see Metroid Prime 4? Like, why even put that expectation out there from me? I think I'd rather go in with the expectations I have now, which is to basically just hear a bunch of information about games we already know about, and yeah, leave it at that. That way, if they do something I don't expect, I can be a bit more surprised. I would love to see the new Star Fox game that's supposedly being made by Retro Studios, but are we going to see it here? I don't want to even have that expectation in my mind, that fleeting thought that, ooh, maybe this is when we see Animal Crossing. Maybe this is when we see this. This is when we see that. Like, yeah, let's just pump the brakes and just see what Nintendo does. Let's see here. Radiant Dawn was the one that was the one on Wii. Path of Radiance, yeah. Path of Radiance is the one that I sunk. It's by far the Fire Emblem game I spent the most time with. Fire Emblem Awakening, I came close. I spent like 200 hours or something in Fire Emblem Awakening. But those are the two Fire Emblem games I played the most. I've dabbled in some of the other ones, but those are the two games that I have a personal history with Fire Emblem that I really loved a lot. Yeah, Radiant Dawn, I remember that. I might have bought it even, but I don't think I actually played it more than like an hour. I was working at Zelda Informer back then, so I was really focused on like Twilight Princess and writing guides, and then there was all these games coming out on 3DS that I had to write guides for, and then obviously Breath of the Wild hype beginning in 2014 and blah blah blah. So I played a lot of games on Wii and Wii U. Wii U especially, I played almost every exclusive game on Wii U, but yeah, it's just kind of for some reason I just didn't. I wasn't interested. Maybe it's because I don't even know why. I didn't have kids yet, so I don't really know why I didn't play a lot of Path of Radiance. I don't really know. It just never really cropped in my mind, I guess, back then to play it a bunch. Or Radiant Dawn, or whatever. Not Path of Radiance. The Path of Radiance I played the hell out of. See, I get all confused with these names. Anyways. Do I plan on getting Starlink? Yeah, day one. I mean, I plan to get NBA 2K19 day one, too, and here I sit and I still don't have it. Sad day. But I will have NBA 2K19 before the end of the month. My boy, Giannis Antetokounmpo, is on there from the Milwaukee Bucks. Got to represent. I mean, it might be the last NBA game I buy, but if it's going to be the last one I buy, it's going to be because Giannis is on the cover, baby. At least for a little while. I heard not a lot has changed in the game per se besides the menus. So it's kind of like I'll get the game because of Giannis, and then I'm going to kind of wait for them to do a next evolution or get rid of the microtransactions and make it so I can actually enjoy the single-player mode. That would be great. Or maybe NBA Live will end up catching up, And one day, that'll be the highest reviewed NBA game, and then I will pick up NBA Live, which I know sounds weird. It's EA, but because EA is so far behind the ball, they're actually doing a lot of really cool things with NBA Live. That's what's nice when you have an actual competition in the marketplace for a very similar style of game, is it creates the underdog, which might be from a greedy company. It makes them focus on making the best possible game they can so they can eventually overtake the top dog. And then when that happens, the one that used to be the top dog will have to start working at making themselves better, and then the new person, the top dog, starts getting really greedy, and it just goes back and forth. Whereas NBA 2K has just been at the top for so long, there isn't really an option, and I fully admit that NBA 2K, based on the last 3 years, hasn't really changed that much. There's been more tweaks made in Madden every single year than there has been in NBA 2K. So, at least to gameplay, to core gameplay. That, like, NBA 2K has tried a whole bunch of extra modes and features that I think most of them have been pretty much a miss, in my opinion. I mean, some people really like the NBA Street aspect of it, but I don't know. I've never really got into that. Let's see here. GTA Trilogy on Switch, is this true? I haven't heard anything about a GTA Trilogy, so that doesn't mean it's not true. Just I haven't heard any rumors about it. Andrew says, what do you think they will do with their retro games? Do you think they will get 10 free and more added, or 10 free and have to buy the rest? They already said what they're doing with the retro games. They're putting them on the Nintendo Switch Online service. We're getting 20 NES games free at launch. Well, free. It's not free. Outside of the 7-day trial, it's not free. You have to buy the service. Anyways, you're getting the 20 NES games, and they're going to keep building out that library. And Reggie said that service replaces Virtual Console. He said that back at E3. So that's how they're going to do it. It's not going to be charging you individual prices for games. It's all going to be part of a subscription service. And the only thing we don't know is, are they really fully dedicated to do more than NES games? Okay, cool, you announced SNES games. Are we going to get N64? Like, I really hope it's something they address before the service comes out. Not that it's going to make a difference now, but, you know, say they're going to add N64 games a year from now. It would at least be nice to know they're working on it, right? Working on adding GameCube games, working on adding, DS and 3DS and Game Boy and all that stuff in. But, you know, we just don't know. There's so much we don't know about the service. Raiku-chan says, even as somebody who doesn't have kids and isn't married, I still find less time for games, despite actually being less busy than I was in high school and university, especially. Maybe I just sleep more. That's weird. Isn't that weird, though? When you become an adult, you kind of have more free time than you ever did when you, especially if you were active in extracurriculars when you were in school. But for some reason, it feels like you never have time. Yeah, maybe you sleep longer hours because you should. You're working 40 hours a week, but that 40 hours or whatever, that's just replacing school. That's not replacing all the extracurriculars you're doing. Maybe it's just stress. I think that plays a lot into it. When you're an adult, you have bills that you weren't worrying about. Like when I worked as a kid at Kmart, I didn't have to worry about paying a cell phone bill or paying rent or putting food on the table or worry what dinner was going to be that night. My parents were worried about all that crap. I didn't have to worry about anything. I really enjoyed my extracurricular activities and then really enjoyed playing video games, and I didn't mind working and having that extra money to go to movies and stuff like that. It was nice. And now as an adult, it's like, yeah, I could go to a movie, but now if I go to a movie, I don't know what I'm going to eat tomorrow. Like, these are things that cross my mind, so then I end up not going to the movie. But because I didn't go to the movie, I actually feel a bit miserable because I kind of needed that pick-me-up, and just watching Netflix and chilling at home just isn't the same as experiencing that movie theater and seeing one of those brand new flicks, and just being out of the house and all that. Like, there's just this big back-and-forth difference between, doing things that help with your mental well-being versus worrying about the things you need to worry about that can be detrimental down the future. So, like, as a kid, I think that's part of the reason why we always found more time to game, is because we didn't have those mental burdens. All we really thought about was what's the next fun thing we're going to be doing. And I wish I could think that way as an adult. I wish I wish the dream as a YouTuber, as a Nintendo content creator, is I love what I do here, but make enough money to do what I do here that I don't have to start worrying about what am I going to eat tomorrow or how am I going to pay rent this month. Like, it would be great to reach that point where I don't have to worry about that stuff, and then maybe the stresses of that kind of melt off, and you can start worrying about doing more fun. Then what fun things am I doing with my kids? There's still going to be stress in your life. I'm a parent. As a parent, stress never goes away. But yeah, it's interesting. I do still game a lot. I game a lot more now than I have been, but a lot of that's thanks to what I do here at YouTube. Now I feel an obligation that, you know what? Yeah, I want to play that game. I should play that game so I could talk about that game. Instead of deciding I should probably be doing something else. Be like, no, wait, this is kind of work related. I can justify in my brain that I should be putting 200 hours into Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee because I could talk about it and use that experience in my job. So it's kind of a interesting conundrum where this YouTube gig has actually helped me get more time to game. Surprisingly, it's kind of interesting. Let me see here. What do you think of Epic Games disabling the video capture? I mean, they have to do what they have to do. The way they explained it is that the video capture ability was eating up some of the RAM, some of the memory, and it ate up enough of that memory to affect the frame rate in the game and affect disconnects in the game. So basically, your memory would max out and then the game would crash, or you would just get super laggy at times. So it kind of sucks that they disabled the video capture, but to be honest, I don't care. I literally never use the video capture ability. I know a lot of people like using it and making those quick 30-second highlights and tossing them up on Twitter and Facebook and all that. I get it. I get that it's a really neat, interesting feature, but it doesn't really matter to me. It's not so. I barely even use the screenshot functionality. Like, I'll screenshot when I get a win, but that's really it. I don't really need to do anything else. I mean, it'd be cool to 30-second, cap my final kill that got me a victory royale or something, but it doesn't matter to me. I care that the game runs well while I play it, not so much that I can capture video. And for me personally, obviously, I'm in a different state because my Switch is always running through a capture card. So anytime I want to capture video, I just have to hit the record button. So I'm already in a different situation when it comes to video stuff. I'm not the average consumer, but yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's more important they make their game run well than it is they have a video capture feature. So, and they'll probably add it back in the future once they figure out some other optimizations. That's the one thing we can say about Epic, and this is one reason that Fortnite shot up past PUBG, is that they are very good and very quick at updating the game and fixing things and improving frame rates and all that stuff. Whereas PUBG, they take a little while to get around to that stuff. Let me see here. Raymond Legend says, Nintendo E3 2006-2007 was so much hype. Wii Fit. Were people really excited for Wii Fit? I feel like the people who bought Wii Fit didn't watch E3. So, anyways, Brawl, Mario Kart Wii, Metroid Prime 3, Twilight Princess, Sonic, and the Secret Rings. Yeah. Twilight Princess, a lot of the hype for Twilight Princess really started at E3 2004 because we just got the Wind Waker the prior holiday season. So here we are 6 months later and you're unveiling Twilight Princess. Like, what the hell? Yeah, it was nice seeing Twilight Princess after that at other E3s, but nothing matched the impact of seeing this brand new realistic style looking Zelda game 6 months after imagine this would basically be like it. Let's say that Breath of the Wild would have launched, at the end of 2016, or heck, say it launched in January 2017 because Switch launched in January 2017. It would be like seeing a brand new, completely different 3D Zelda game at E3 of last year. That's how crazy it was to see Twilight Princess at E3 2004. That's why, we saw it at E3 2006, but who really cared at that point? At that point, we basically knew everything about the game, and the only reason we even saw it at E3 2006 is because it got delayed so it could be on Wii. It wasn't like Breath of the Wild where we didn't really know anything about the game until the E3 before the game came out. We knew a ton about the game because it was supposed to release in 2005. And they actually treated it like it was going to release in 2005, up until after E3. Even at E3 2005, they said it was going to launch at the end of 2005. And then like a month after that E3, they're like, actually, we need more time to work on improving the game. And then we found out the reason was because they delayed it for Wii. But 2007 was pretty good too. 2006, like the big thing y'all always remember from 2006 is just Iwata pulling out the controller, pulling out the console from the jacket. Like that's just such an iconic moment. Like yeah, you expect them to do that with like a 3DS or something. No one expected them to pull a home console out of the jacket. Like it was such a cool moment that we'll probably never get again, to be honest. Because like if Switch is pulled out, I pulled Switch out of my jacket. Well, I mean, yeah, it's portable. Of course you pulled it out of your jacket. Let me see here. Are you getting in on the online, even though it seems underwhelming? Yes. As I've said this entire time, I'm going to be a hypocrite with the online stuff. I'm a big hypocrite with the online stuff. I think there's a lot of stuff that I don't like about it. But reality is, I am a Nintendo YouTuber. I am a live streamer. I play Splatoon 2 with people. And for $20 a year, it's worth me still being able to play Splatoon 2 with fellow subscribers, playing Mario Kart 8 with all of you guys. It's still worth the money for me to do that. When I say worth the money, what I mean is it's not a big enough hit on my wallet that I want to give up the ability to play those games. It's not because the service actually makes those games better. And that's where they kind of got me by the balls. If I was not a live streamer, I would probably just quit playing Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon 2. But on the bright side, I don't have to quit. So like that's kind of cool. And plus I want to review the service, and I can't really review or give my thoughts on the service once it releases if I don't try it out, right? And I know you get 7 days to try it out, but I want to see what's it going to look like after that first month? What's it going to look like 6 months later? What's it going to feel and look like a year later? Like, are they improving the service? And all of that, you can look from the outside looking in and give thoughts on it, but it's not the same as actually using the service. So I mean, just for purposes of what I do as a job, I have to use the service. Otherwise, I will not be as informed as I should be on how everything functions and how well everything works and blah, 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 blah. So as I said, I'm a complete hypocrite when it comes to the online service. I'll chastise it to hell, but I'm still getting it because of what I do. But as I said, if situation was different and I wasn't a YouTuber making video content on Nintendo all the time, I probably would not get the service, at least at launch. I'd probably do the trial, but that's probably as far as I go with it. I can't see myself keeping it. Cloud saves, is a very interesting reason to keep it. That might be the only reason I would justify to myself if I got the service without being a YouTuber. But I don't know. Like, the fact that I can't back up Pokemon would really upset me. It still really upsets me. So, I mean, if anything, if I wasn't a YouTuber, it would make me not buy Pokemon. That kind of sucks. So I don't know. Like I don't mind paying for cloud backups. I already pay for, like, I literally pay Google Drive for bigger storage in their cloud. Like I pay that every month, and I pay way the hell more than $20 a year for it. So like, I don't really have an issue paying for cloud services. Cloud services aren't free. So, let me see here. Have I watched Super Metal Days video on Nintendo's recent job postings? I have not watched the video, but I'm pretty sure I know what job postings he's talking about because I've seen them. So, Seahawks24 Rule says, do you think we will get any Switch, GameCube, or Wii remasters this direct? No. I don't think we're going to see any remasters necessarily like that beyond something like Skyward Sword potentially until they're done porting the whole Wii U library. Believe it or not, the whole Wii U library isn't here. We're not just talking about Mario Maker either. You know, the Wonderful 101, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, those are just ones that come off the top of my head. New Super Mario Bros. U with the Luigi U content as well. And probably some more that I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head right now. Because now I'm trying to remember what Wii U games have already come over compared to what Wii U games are left. So until that's all done, I don't think we'd ever see remasters of the other stuff. Plus, we have to think about, they do offer this online service. Are they going to add GameCube games to it? If they add GameCube games to it, maybe they aren't going to remaster them. So I don't know. I think the toys to life aspects, Starlink definitely doesn't help with the 4 kids thought process. Well, it's completely optional. I've actually played the game with the toys, and I played the games without. They're 100% optional, and I think the problem is because they're trying to advertise the toys to life thing. It's one of those aspects where people feel like a lot of people are like, yeah, Starlink Battle for Atlas is cool, but I don't like Toys for Life, so I'm not doing it. It's like they're not hitting hard enough that Toys to Life crap doesn't matter. You could just ignore that it even exists. You don't have to use it. Everything's available in the game digitally. So, yeah, it's a very interesting prospect. The Toys to Life probably makes it feel like a kid's game more than anything, but why? Why can't adults play with toys? Do you not see... You see those things back there in my one setup? Like, it's like 90... I got Ninja Turtles back there for crying out loud, like action figures. Dude, adults play with toys too, man. Come on. Heck, I'm going to end up getting some of the toys because I want that damn R-Wing. I want the R-Wing from Starlink Battle for Atlas. I want that thing so I can put it on display. Or maybe I want to fly it around my office and go pew, 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 and, shoot down Wolf or something, Like, oh, man. I still play with toys. And I try to give the excuse I play with toys because I have kids, but let's be honest. I like playing with toys, man. Come on. Come on. Who doesn't like going go-karting? I love go-karts. They're so much fun. Let's see here. And the thing is, I could drive a car. It's not the same as go-karts. Let me see here. This is kind of random, but with all the talk about backing up saves, I was wondering, how would we know if a save was corrupted? Are there symptoms for it? And can it break a console? Basically, when you have a corrupted save file, when you go to access the game, it'll give you an error code. And it'll say, it doesn't always say corrupted save. I've had it happen one time. It says something like, error code, blah, 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 something's wrong with your save file. And that usually means your save file is corrupted. Thankfully, it happened in a game I wasn't that far, and I didn't make a lot of progress in, so it didn't hurt me, but it also reminded me, man, it would have been nice to have a cloud save of that game before it got corrupted on my system. That would have been great. So yeah, you get an error code when you load it up. When it's in the cloud, when you put a save in the cloud, at the time you put it in the cloud, that save shouldn't be corrupted. But your local save can get corrupted, just for many reasons. Other games on the system, something might have affected it. Maybe you dropped it and dislodged the memory and it scratched. There's a lot of reasons. Overheating, things that aren't going to be a worry in a cloud, because like one save is not going to affect another save in the cloud. All saves in the cloud are individual files that they don't interact with each other. Whereas on your system, they're all kind of thrown together on the same memory module, and just funky things can happen. That can cause it to get corrupted. Let me see here. What do you think of the reschedule of the launch for the online service? What do you mean the reschedule of the launch? They said it was launching in September. It's September, and now it's launching on the 18th. How do we know that's a reschedule? They said it was going to launch in the second half of September. Well, the 18th is 3 days after the halfway point in September, so how is that a reschedule? The only reschedule there ever was last year when they said, oh, sorry, it's not launching this year, it's launching next year. So that's the only time it's ever been rescheduled. Why are we talking about that now, though? The online service isn't delayed, at least in terms of right now. They didn't give us an earlier date than now. They said second half of September, and the 18th is second half. Barely second half. Do you think they will drop the Torna expansion / game after the direct? Doesn't that already have a date? Hold on. Maybe it doesn't. Torna TLC date. Let's see here. Oh man, I thought they had a date. I could be wrong on this. I'm probably wrong on this. Yeah, dude, the Torna DLC already has a release date. It releases this Friday. So, I mean, yeah, you can argue it's going to drop after the direct because it's going to drop at midnight. But yeah, that already has a release date. It's releasing September 14th. So, like, technically it drops after the direct, after like a few hours later. But it was dropping anyways. We already have the date. Oh, look at the time. Okay, I still got about 10 minutes. Starlink does look excellent, but why are they not selling the game on its own physical? I don't want to pay for the toys as well. What's workshop to $80? Hold on. Let me link you to something here. Second here. Oh man, good. They still have. I should pre-order this on Amazon. It's a little cheaper. Sorry, I was looking at the Starlink Battle for Atlas R-Wing pack. God, it looks good. Oh, it looks good. I really want that. I really want that R-Wing. That's worth the money to me. Okay, I'm gonna leave that page open so I remember to pre-order it. Does it come with the thing to use the controllers with too? I don't know if it actually comes with the ship and the game, but I don't know if it comes with the rest. Anyways, I'll have to look into that. Hold on. I actually saw someone that was selling a physical copy. It might not have been for Switch though. Without the stuff. Oh yeah, it was for PlayStation 4. Damn. Yeah, so I'm not seeing one right now. I think it's one of those just wait till after launch. At some point they'll have it without it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing it for anything but PlayStation 4 without a bundle. So, yeah, you're just gonna have to wait. I don't know. That's the thing that's gonna make it feel like for kids is that aspect. But I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna end up having it anyways because I'm gonna get the starter edition for Switch, which has the R-Wing baby. I gotta see if this has all the other stuff I want. It's got the R-Wing. I don't care about completing the fleet. I just want that R-Wing baby. Trailer. I don't care about the trailers. I mean, the trailers are cool, but... There we go. I want to see the back. Okay, yeah, it does come with the thing to connect your controller to. Okay. And they still have them in stock, so... Yes. Yes, I can't wait. I'm going to get that. Are you Rich of UTech USA's son? No. You know that, like, I'm not that much younger than Rich, right? How old is he again? I forgot his name now. I mean Rich, but I'm trying to remember. I used to know. So yeah, he's 37. I'm 32. He's not that much older than me. So like, are you his son? It's like I have friends that are older than him. My parents are way older than him. They're like, he's not that far off from me, man. Like, he's like the distance between him and me in years is the same distance between me and my fiance, who's younger than me. So, like, no. If anything, I could be his brother. Let's see here. What would you do if they put Scorpion from Mortal Kombat in Smash Bros. Ultimate? Be upset because we don't have a Mortal Kombat game on Switch. I mean, what else can I be but upset? I don't think it makes sense to do that, but I would like Todd to bring that new Skyrim game to the Switch. I think they will. It's not Skyrim. It's the Elder Scrolls series. Come on, man. Skyrim is a part of the Elder Scrolls series. It's a new Elder Scrolls game, not a new Skyrim. And yeah, I'd like to see that on Switch. But, I mean, that game is probably like 2, 3, 4 years away from even seeing the market. So we'll worry more about that game when it gets much closer to them wanting to actually talk more about that game. That game is a cross-gen game, and it's not going to be coming out for a while. You believed we would have gotten Metroid Prime news when? I never said that. Fire Emblem's an excellent series. Can't wait for the one next year. Nice. Yep. Do a collaboration with Rich Review Tech USA. I don't know what to really... I mean, I could have him on a podcast. I could message him. Because now that I know he knows what my YouTube channel is, it might not be bad for... Because he shouted out my channel earlier this week. It might not be bad for me to like reach out to him and be like, hey, you want to come to a podcast and talk about Nintendo? He already talks about Nintendo a decent amount anyways. Maybe it's something we could do post maybe after the online service launches, because maybe we can do a whole conversation piece about that or something, because I know he's got some strong opinions on that online service, as do I, so It'll be very interesting to talk about that. I don't know. Maybe I'll reach out to him since now I know that he's aware of who I am. Brendan Renshaw, I've heard NBA Live passed 2K this year. Reviews on NBA Live only had minor problems and a lot of updates compared to 2K. Did it pass it this year? I mean, I don't have a choice on Switch, and there's Giannis. Giannis alone. I'm basically buying the game because of Giannis. I want to support him as a Milwaukee Buck and as a cover athlete. When he becomes a cover athlete alive, I'll probably buy a system just for that. NBA Live, is it 19? I mean, NBA Live 19 has a 76 on Xbox One, a 74 on PlayStation 4. NBA 2K19 has an 85 on PlayStation 4, an 81 on Xbox One. So it has not passed it in terms of review scores. That's for sure. It's closed the gap. Being at like 74 and the other one being at 81, like that's a gap close there, because it was like in the 60s before, but it's still got a ways to go. A little bit of ways to go. It's in that realm where you can start debating which one do you like more. I think is what's happened. How do you make sunny side up eggs? I don't know. I know how to make the ones that like you dip the bread in and it kind of like pops and then you get like the yolk you could dip your bread in. Whatever those ones are called. I know how to make those. Are those sunny side up? I don't think those are sunny side up. I forget what those are called. But I know how to make those. My fiance loves those. That's why I know how to make them. I didn't know how to make them before I met her. I had to teach myself. What's your top 5 favorite 3DS games excluding Zelda? God, you just got rid of my entire top 5. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Triforce Heroes, A Link Between Worlds, and wasn't there another one? Maybe there was. Maybe there's only 4. I mean, I think A Link's Awakening DX was released on it at one point in the Ambassadors program or something. Excluding, oh man, that's tough. I mean, Smash Bros would probably make the list. I really liked it on 3DS. This is no particular order. Fire Emblem Awakening, Animal Crossing New Leaf. That's 3. Man, there's some that are at like the tip of my tongue. I'm forgetting. Let me see here. Bravely Default, the OG Bravely Default. I like that better. I like that a lot actually. And probably a toss-up between Uprising and that Professor Layton game. I think it's the Azran Legacy. Probably a toss-up between those. I did like Mario Golf World Tour a lot too, but once I played Golf Story, it was like, yeah, no. Mario Golf World Tour is like trash in comparison. I think I just liked it because it was like the best Mario Golf game in a long time, but honestly, it's not as good as Golf Story. Golf Story is what Mario Golf should have been. How do you get on the podcast? I posted on Patreon, but I haven't heard anything. Oh, Andrew! He is one of the $20 backers. I know that you said something on there. I will be sending you a private message over Patreon later today, probably tonight, to let you know how this is going to work, when we're going to record, what you're going to need. We are going to be recording tomorrow. It is obviously going to be after the Nintendo Direct at 9 p.m. But yeah, become a $20 backer on Patreon, and then that post, I know you responded to it. Anyone else who's listening, you want to be on the podcast, $20 backer on Patreon. You can be on one podcast per month. And I put up a post and you sign up. That person did sign up. I do need to contact them tonight. I usually contact you a couple days before the podcast, but because of the studio build, I've just been really busy. But Eric reminded me today that someone signed up for it. So, yeah, I'll be sending you the information for that tonight. And the video aspect of it's totally up to you. You don't have to do anything with the video. Rudd hit us with a $5.82. He says, good evening. Are you streaming any game tonight? I don't currently have plans to do so, but I might. We'll see. I did a test stream yesterday of Fortnite. I don't know if I'll probably do the Mega Man 11 demo or something if I did tonight. Who knows? Maybe I'll somehow have NBA 2K19. Probably not. I don't have the $60 to buy it right now, but yeah, I'll probably play something. We'll see for a little bit. I got to get going here. I got to rush. Last question I'll take. Did Yulia end up keeping the money she got from gambling? Yes. She came home exactly with what she won. She did gamble more, broke even. I don't know what she's doing with the money. It's her money. I'm not going to touch it. She's probably going to go gambling again or something. I have no idea. All right, folks, I gotta head out. My kids are almost home. I got to catch the bus. See you guys.